guys, welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to show you how to very easily set up your own copper electroforming setup. So let's go. Alright, our first step is to heat up a gallon of distilled water. Not to the point of boiling, but pretty close because we need to dissolve some stuff in it. Alright, my water clearly has some bubbles at the bottom, so I'm going to very carefully pour it into this bucket. Next up, we're going to add 32 ounces, which is this entire container of root kill. This is just copper sulfate crystals. That's all it is. So we're going to pour all of them in here. And I am wearing chemical resistant gloves. And then I bought a spoon from Dollar Tree that is specifically going to be for mixing solution. We don't want to use any of the things we're using today on food ever again because they've been contaminated. So I'm just going to stir this until all of those crystals dissolve, and then we'll let it cool down before adding sulfuric acid. Okay, while that cools, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using as my container. You can use glass or you can use number 5 or number 2 plastic container. Just look for that little recycle symbol on the bottom. So this was literally like a Christmas decoration. I had it filled with pine cones and stuff. I think I got it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And then my husband took some of the extra electrical wire we had used to set up a designated outlet for my freeze dryer and just used a drill to twist 2 of the strands together. And then we just coiled it to fit into our container here. Now you really want a lid so that, you know, you don't have any accidental spills and things like that. Well, this didn't come with a lid, so I bought a pack of silicone stretchy bowl covers off of Amazon, and I can link everything down below. But this one fit perfectly on top, so it's a little bit more secure. Dust can't get in it. You know, obviously if it tips over, it's probably gonna spill because there's gonna be a lot of liquid, but it's covered at least. So we're gonna pour our cooled down blue liquid here into our container. And I do have my windows open and the attic fan on. When you're working with chemicals, you want to wear a respirator, be in a well ventilated area, you know, stuff like that. So this fills about half the container, so I'll just end up pushing this coil down for now, but I may make more solution and keep filling. But for now, we're gonna let this cool just a little bit more before I add in the next 2 ingredients, but we are almost ready. All right, this is pretty much cooled down. It's not steaming anymore. It's not too hot to touch. So now we're going to add 1 milliliter of sulfuric acid for every ounce of copper sulfate that we did. So we did 32 ounces of copper sulfate, so we need 32 milliliters of sulfuric acid. And I'm gonna make this a lot easier on myself and use a syringe. Be very careful with this stuff. Always wear gloves. Make sure you're wearing a respirator or you're outside. So I'm gonna sacrifice one of my ball jars to be able to get this into the syringe. So I'm gonna close this up so I don't accidentally knock it over. But I don't wanna use this jar for food anymore because it has had very harsh chemicals in it. So now I've got my 32 milliliters of sulfuric acid, and we're going to squeeze that right into our copper sulfate solution. Put the lid on. I'm not storing this in here. I will funnel it back into here for safekeeping, but now we're going to stir to mix. And then our final ingredient is not necessary. It's going to be a brightener. It's just going to help give a nice sheen to our projects. You can buy actual brightener, but Miralax is the exact same thing and it's way cheaper. So I stole some from my mom because I didn't have any on hand. So we're gonna add a teaspoon of Miralax and stir. Okay, this is the power supply that I bought, which I will also link down below. This came with alligator clips and wires, but they're really short, and I knew I was doing kind of a larger, taller setup, so I went ahead and ordered some longer ones. So all we're going to do is plug in the red to the positive side and the black to the negative side here at the bottom of mine. And then we're gonna take our alligator clips and clip them to our anode and our cathode. So our anode is the coil that we put inside around. That is the kind of the sacrificial piece that we are pulling the copper ions out of to stick to our piece. And then this piece here my husband made using just more copper wire, and he added some T's in it to let me kind of string my pieces across and have multiple pieces at a time. So when we put this over the top, we want to make sure that our cathode is not touching our anode anywhere, or it's going to short circuit. So make sure that this is right in the middle, not touching copper wire anywhere. And then our positive alligator clip is going to go on our anode, and then our negative is going on our cathode, just like that. Again, making sure that the anode and cathode are not touching one another. So once I have pieces strung on there with copper wire, the electricity can make a complete circuit. And then I will do another video of me testing this out for the first time, showing you how to coat it in a graphite coating, what settings I'm going to use to plate things. So this is just a basic, easy, quick setup. Like I said, you can use certain types of plastic, 5 or 2, or glass like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.